So, after the altercation happened, Whitney was singing with Kelly Price. They were having a good time at the club. Ray J somehow showed up where Whitney was at. He knew where she would be. Okay, guys, I don't want to dance around. I want to give it to you from the beginning to the end. Whitney went into the car because she had on the dress that night. She wrote that letter. And that was the letter that she gave to Brandy. Why would she give Brandy? Why didn't she give Monica a letter? Why was it Brandy? Because Whitney was dealing with Gay J. Okay? So the altercation happened before this. Then Whitney, if you can see, those people, whoever snapped those photos, they were very smart because they actually showed Whitney's arms, her neck, her chest area. We were able to see her face, her forehead. And then if you guys go back, I will put the autopsy photo up. And that was just the autopsy of the outside of the body. It wasn't the typed up. And I really need to get my hands on that. It wasn't the actual typed up autopsy of the inside of her organs or anything like that. That autopsy just showed the graph of the bruises that were on her body. And we all should know that Whitney Houston did not drown in a tub, okay? That didn't happen. Not by her own will anyway. She also had bruising on the back of her body. So right here, guys, look at her chest area, look at her neck area. And you can see sometimes she has her hair down, and it's that right eye on your right side. Continue to look at the pictures that I post on this commentary. You can see that she is scratch free. Look at her arms. Look at her hands. I really believe I know who did this. Guys, please follow me on this, because we can't just take things that the media say. You know, they take things and twist it up, and this has been a cover-up. And now the truth needs to be told. Pay attention. This is the bathtub, guys. This is the bathtub. This is the bathtub that she supposedly drowned in. Does it look like she can drown in this tub? And what are those items in the bottom of the tub? And the towel? The towel was actually thrown in the tub to delete evidence from whoever was touching on whatever they were touching on. DNA. This was an absolute cover-up. They're showing all of these bruises, and you mean to tell me that you guys can sit up here and say she had cocaine, she had a heart disease? You guys see what I'm saying? They tried to make things look like an accident. Oh, she accidentally drowned. She accidentally drowned. So I guess when she fell in the tub, she got all of these scars on her. She already had healing scars from just 2 days ago when Ray J roughed her up to get her off of Stacy. This is clearly done by the hands of a man. Tugging on her, pulling on her. Her legs are scratched up because she's kicking his ass off of her, like, get off of me. He's grabbing her. And if you guys look at that line across her neck, they never state if that was an abrasion or not. Do you guys see that? Look up at the line that's going across her neck, down to her shoulder, her left side of her shoulder. That is clearly a line. There's no circle there. All of the scars are circled. That's just a line across her neck. Oh, she does have scratches in her face as well. She has the scratch above her eyebrow, on the side of her eyebrow. Guys, look at this graph. This is Whitney Houston's graph. Google it. She has a scratch on her cheek, what would be her left side of her cheek, and a little beak under that. And that's now how she looked at the club. If you guys can clearly see, this lady has been abused and battered. This is how the attack first started. Her being placed in the tub was a cover-up. Like I stated, guys, Look at the neck area. You can clearly see that they wrote a line there, but it is not listed as being an abrasion. I can't make this up. Now it says that there is an abrasion on the side. It does say abrasion, but it's pointing down to the shoulder. And it says abrasion again. Okay, so I see where the line is going. It's going to the other side of the shoulder. However, why not put abrasion on the other side and just point out that there is an abrasion? Why this autopsy is not done correctly? This is a cover-up. Why would you have to go across the neck to go to the other side of the shoulder if you guys are really paying attention to this graph? But see, the question is, what stopped Whitney Houston from breathing? What caused her death? I'm not buying that it was Benadryl. I'm not buying that it was metabolites. I'm not buying that it was cocaine. I'm not buying that she drowned in a freaking tub. They never stated it. This is a physical assault. So when you have a body that is battered the way that this body is battered, we're looking at it, guys. She has umpteen abrasions across her body. How can they just immediately go and say that she drowned in the bathtub? With all of these bruises on her, her skin is open. She has pillage, slippage. Do you see at the bottom on the left side? It says that it's slippage on both sides. 3 by 3 inches of slippage of skin. No one just drowns and then their skin start having slippage. That's not what this is. Oh my God, I'm so upset. What stopped Whitney Houston from breathing? Like I stated, guys, this should have been classified as a homicide. Look at the top of her knee. Why is it only abrasions? Slipping in a bathtub, I'm not saying that it doesn't cause any like swelling or anything, because if you hit yourself and you fall in a tub, yeah, you're going to have some swelling. But this clearly says abrasions, abrasions, abrasions. She has abrasions across her body from her hands. They're not showing any, like her arms, her chest, her legs. Her hands are clean, at least the inside. They're not showing the outside. I do not agree with this autopsy, guys. If you can pause this video, blow it up, study it, look at what the wording says. It says abrasions. Okay? And she had some kind of thing on her nose, like somebody hit her face up against something. Maybe her nose was broken. They're not going to tell us everything. I have to get the autopsy. If anyone has it, please email it to me. Clearly look at Whitney. Now this is 2 days before when she's at the bar and Ray J's there and she gets into it with Stacy and they begin to have a shouting match and Whitney, put her hands on her and then she pushed Whitney. Yeah, she pushed her. That didn't cause Whitney Houston to start bleeding. I'm going to tell you guys what my opinion is because I don't want to overdo this story. I want to just get to the point. I really believe, okay, so they were messing around. Okay, now that that's out, they broke up. I don't know who broke up with who. It seems like Whitney broke up with Ray J. Ray J went and found where Whitney was. He had been stalking her. He knew she was going to be there that night. He showed up there. If they were not together, what was he doing there? She looks over and she sees Ray J talking to Stacy. She goes up. Ray J set the whole thing up to see how Whitney would react. If she reacts, that means she still wants me. If she shows her ass in this bar and beats this bitch's ass, that means she still wants me. But I'm still mad at her for whatever reason, so I'm going to act like I'm going to defend Stacy. So that's what he does. He sees that she takes the bait for being jealous and she goes off on this girl. She's trying to beat her down. They had to be pulled apart. Ray J then takes defense to Stacy. That makes Whitney Houston even more madder because you're my man. How dare you bring this bitch in here? Have her sit down in my face where I can see you guys. This is disrespectful. Ray J then blames Whitney and Whitney leaves the club. Okay, and she's with Pat. and her brother. They are witnessing what is going on. They knew this happened. So this is no more. This was no more after the club situation. Whitney goes her way, they go their way. You clearly heard Bobby Brown's sister say that Ray J emerged from the hotel. So that places Ray J at the hotel. Okay, I can see if they said Ray J wasn't at the hotel. What the freak was Ray J doing at the hotel 2 days later? So things blew over, things cooled off. Ray J and Whitney probably talked on the phone. No phone records were pulled. They just simply wrote this off as a drowning. I'm not buying it. She even has a scar in the middle of her back, above her butt, on the back of her arms. So they showed the back. But anyway, let's get back to this. So somehow, either by his own will, things seem to have cooled down. Ray J probably contacted Whitney and they spoke over the phone. And he's like, I'm going to come by. We're going to talk, blah, blah, blah. Now listen to this. Now, by that time, when Ray J got there, yeah, Whitney was probably still partying. She had Benadryl in her system. She had cocaine in her system. She had metabolites in her system. She was drinking a beer. She ordered food. Who did she order the food for? Who else ate out of that food? You guys saw the food. She wasn't eating all of that crap. And even if she was, in my opinion, Ray J showed up at the hotel. Whitney was still high. She was still upset. She probably began to slap him and spit on him and call him all kind of faggots, maggots, and raggets, okay? Ratchet. Things kicked off. He started pulling her off of him. And that's how she got all of those abrasions. He never once hit her in her face. However, it would be so easy for her murder to be solved because the person that scratched her's DNA is under her skin. They wrote this off and covered this up. This is my opinion. It makes sense. She didn't fall in that bathtub and get all those damn abrasions on her body just by falling in the tub. And then what is that stuff floating around at the bottom of the tub? Did she fall on the food trays and that's what scratched her up? Look at her chest. This is the night when she fought Stacy. She was singing with Kelly Price. Look at her chest. Look at her neck. Look at her face. She has no abrasions. However, she did leave with abrasions on her legs, and they were not really visible, but you can see that there was some bleeding going on. There was absolutely some bleeding going on. Her sister-in-law and her brother, they're just standing there. They look numb. They don't even look like themselves. They don't even look concerned. Whitney is upset. And you know, we guys seen how Whitney performs in public when she gets upset. Just watch Being Bobby Brown. Okay? But these were things that were provoked. And this was Ray J's doing, my opinion. He knew how she would react. I didn't know she felt that way about him. Like, for real, for real. So, like Leola Brown said, that Ray J was Whitney's runner? No, Whitney wasn't acting like this for a runner. A runner boy she was acting like this for? I highly doubt it. Look at her legs. It's just like little minor scratches. But there's blood, but there's little scratches. Maybe he pushed her up against something and she cut her legs. But look at the autopsy. Whitney was attacked. And that should have made it a homicide itself. She was attacked. She didn't just fall into a tub. Guys, if you look at how her body was riddled with bruises. They're not even stab wounds. They're bruises. And like I said, and I'll say it again, why wasn't there anyone, like I said, with Mystical Sister? Okay, she's at the very end of the room anyway. It doesn't matter. No one heard her getting thrown around. She had to be getting thrown around. She was thrown around about. She even had some bruising on her knee. Hotel rooms have carpet. Okay? Look at how the graph looks and how badly her body had been bruised with all of these scars and abrasions. Okay? I'm very upset with you, Ray J. Whitney, you made a big mistake. And we're going to get into Bobby Christina. Y'all give me some time because this is not easy editing and putting together these videos. But I do it because these things need to be brought to light. This is wrong. This is very wrong, but this is my opinion. Things got out of hand that night when he came to the hotel. So when he realized what he did, I don't know. Did she hit her neck on something? Did he choke her? Did he hit her in her head? Did she hit her head? They don't want to state that. However, somebody in the law enforcement is covering up for Ray J. That's why they put his head down in the car and put him in the car. And he already said it's his fault that Whitney and Stacy fought that night, and he blames himself for Whitney's death. There you go, guys. He blamed himself. You were there at the hotel, Ray J. It was him. Scenario number 2. Whitney was taking a bath. Indeed, she was. Or they filled the tub up. Maybe someone was with Ray J. And they scratched her up to hold her head under the water. And she was fighting back, and that's how she got all those scratches on her. There's a lot of directions this story can go. But one thing I know for sure. Whitney did not drown intentionally or drown in that bathtub under her own will. Neither did she get in the bathtub and accidentally fall asleep. So if she got in the tub and accidentally fell asleep, where did the bruises come from? The pictures are the evidence to make a conviction, because she was only bruised on her legs. And those pictures hold weight for that conviction. Because if you can see, her chest is visible, her neck is visible. Each side of the neck where they say they have those abrasions, study the graphs, guys. The proof is in the pudding, and the devil is in the details. And only details I see adding along with this situation in the story and the altercation that led up to her death was Ray J. Ray J was seen leaving the hotel. Ray J was in that room with Whitney Houston when she died.